What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you already know I'm about to get this in. But before I get it in, let's get this intro in. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support. I'm very humble. So don't. Another one bites the dust, right? But not for long, man. I don't see Peso sitting down for that long. Los Angeles rapper Peso, Grammy nominated. Los Angeles rapper Peso is right now in the county jail fighting unknown charges. He was arrested at 2 a.m. on the 9th, I believe it was. And you know what? It seems like rappers are dropping like flies. Sur Gang, the Southern rappers are dropping like flies, man. Are they being targeted? Is it something else? Could it be things that they're saying on the internet, their music? I don't know, man, but it seems like if you're running around with a certain crowd, if you're out there displaying certain characteristics and getting involved in activities, well, guess what? The ones that are really getting active are the police. They're getting super active. They're always active, right? And if they know something about you, they're going to come get you. Now, we know Peso recently had a run-in with the Fresno Bulldogs in Fresno during an OGZ performance where he was opening for OGZ. And of course, man, it went left. Bulldogs they started barking. Gang signs were being thrown. And you notice the heavy presence, a heavy crowd of homies around Peso. And when I say homies, that could only mean his entourage or Southerners or people from his barrio and neighborhood that he represents, allegedly hanging around with them. Now, that's a probation violation right off the top. When I first seen that video, I said, man, when you have all these guys, I understand when you're doing music, you keep an entourage around you, you keep bodyguards or whatever you got going on for whatever reason. Of course, he was in Fresno. So being that he wasn't out of bounds in that area, man, you got to keep a heavy presence around you for safety and security reasons. And that's just the way it is. You can call him pussy, coward, whatever you want, but you keep people around you, man, when you go to places where you know could get tricky. That's just real, especially when you're in the industry. That's how you move, man. MC Hammer moved with 30 million dancers, and ain't no one get mad at him. And I heard Hammer had major hands. Hammer had hammers. That's the legendary status of MC Hammer. But back to Peso. He gets arrested, undisclosed charges. Now, what does that mean? That means they haven't quite listed what he's arrested for. I believe quite possibly they're saying now it's a misdemeanor. I think it's a probation hold, a probation violation. That's why he was granted no bail in the courts. Okay. Usually when you get no bail, it's for one or two reasons. It could be a super like a murder charge where it's like they haven't put a bail on it yet. They got to decide when you go to court what they're going to do with that. But usually it's because you're on a parole or probation hold. And so that's always going to be no bail. The judge has nothing to do with that unless there's new charges. They could hold you in the county jail, obviously, but it's up to the parole or probation officer. And we do know that Peso is on some form of observation, whether it's parole or probation, I'm not sure. But he just recently got out of prison less than a year ago, right? So automatically he's placed on some type of parole or probation. I don't know if he was done yet. I don't know if it was felony probation or, of course, parole. But whatever he's got to hold, the parole or probation officer is the one who decides if they're going to give him a violation or not. Now, the reason I was talking about the Fresno incident is him being around known gang members or being in the proximity, a close proximity of known gang members or active gang members. That's automatically a violation of the terms of your parole or probation. That'll hold you. Okay. It seems petty and it seems misdemeanorish, but at the same time, it's what I've went through it before, man. I got violated one time for having red shoelaces. I got violated for being in a highly gang infested active area. I was just walking through the area going to get some milk and some cookies, right? And they shook me up. They dunked my Oreo and that was it. I was gone. Probation violation, parole violations, they happen all the time. That is why he's being held with no bail. Now, Peso is Grammy nominated. Let me break it down to you because people are going crazy. Damn, homie, let him go because of that. that don't mean shit. When you're locked up for whatever you did, you're locked up for whatever you did. Obviously, Peysoh's not tripping, and he feels that he's going to be out soon. He released a phone call on Instagram and TikTok, other social media platforms, saying, free the trophy, free Peysoh, free the hood, free the homies, free everyone. Everybody wants free. Fuck that. Let me out. Not free this or free that. Let me go home. I didn't do shit. So it's a developing situation, man. I think Peysoh will be home way before the rapper Tommy Guns is. I think Peysoh got more money. He got better lawyers. He got a much more bigger push behind him. And I mean, we're talking about someone who's on a Grammy-nominated song. For those of you that are saying, hey, him and Lefty Gunplay, they made that song what it is, let's be honest and real. There's no hate involved, man. Peysoh definitely busts. He definitely goes. He's a great rapper. He's up and coming. He's a youngster. He deserves, if he does get a Grammy, and even Lefty Gunplay gets a Grammy for being on Kendrick Lamar's album, so be it. They deserve it, right? But at the end of the day, let's not act like these guys wrote the song their whole selves. That is a Kendrick Lamar song, man, that these guys were privileged enough to be asked to be on, and they definitely deserve the flowers for that. But don't run around act like they're the reason why fucking the Dodgers won the World Series. You know what I mean? Stop it. But let's be honest and truthful here. I don't think this is a big deal. I think this is merely a probation hold that if he is able to prove that, you know, he was having these people around or he was in association with these people. And I think that's what it's about. I think it's about him being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, he was arrested, I guess, at 2 a.m. And there are so many different theories going on. Was he caught with the strap? Was it just merely a harassment where the cops looked for any old reason to bust him? You know, when you're coming up, when you're at the pinnacle, when it always seems like when you're going to make that next move, your best move, that's when the devil comes into play, right? That's when the devil whispers in your ear. That's when it seems like you get a lot of roadblocks. It happens all the time. It's how you bounce back. It's how you do what you do. Now, there's a lot of people tying money sign Suede into Peysoh's name, man. How dare you disrespect that young man, who got murdered in prison for whatever the reasons were? Okay, each man is different. Why are you automatically associating money sign Suede? Was he young? Yes, he was young just like Peysoh. But what he was into and what he had going on is definitely not what Peysoh is into and has going on. Okay, Peysoh could go into jail or prison and do his time. If he's representing the right way, he has no dirt on his name, then he's going to go in there and do his thing. He's going to be embraced and he's going to be accountable for everything that he says and everything that he does. That's why I always implore to you young gang members that are out here on the internet running around talking about you'll do this and you'll do that. Some of this, some of that. We in the studio ripping up dope tracks. Man, you're real. You better guard your grill. Because if you ain't about it, motherfucker, you might get killed. And this is just the truth, right? If you talk all that high power shit on the streets, it's definitely going to have an adverse effect on what's going on when you're locked up, because now politics come into play, gangs come into play, things come into play. And if you're not truly prepared to back up the words that you were speaking out there, boom, pop goes the weasel, because the weasel went pop. That doesn't automatically mean you're going to get killed. You can get disciplined. You can get a regulation. A lot of things can happen, but it's just so crazy that people, just like they're doing Tommy Guns, they automatically paint this guy in a bad light. Look, facts right here. I give you no added preservatives. This young man is going to be out before a lot of you people see this video. It's just the truth. He's going to go to the county jail, see his probation officer probably today, and probably be out tomorrow, more than likely. Now, if they do want to hold him in violation, he could get anywhere from 30 days to 6 months to a year, depending upon how CDC feels. Now, right now, CDC is not taking a lot of violations in on petty shit, right? And allegedly, this is a misdemeanor. But what kind of gets me a little intrigued is if people are saying this is a developing situation and the charges have not been put out there, no one knows what he's charged with, then how the hell do they know it's a misdemeanor? They're not going to say you're locked up for a misdemeanor, but we're not going to tell you what you're charged with. You have the right to know what you're charged with. Now, if it's a parole or probation hold, yes, there are things when you first get locked up, they don't have to give you a reasoning why you're locked up. That's why officers, when they approach you, one of the first things they say are you on probation or are you on parole? If you say yes, automatically turn around, get cuffed, submit to restraints. They're going to get a hold of your probation or your parole officer. And if they say lock his ass up, wait till I get there Monday, Tuesday, wait up, I'm chilling today, maybe Wednesday, then you have to sit your ass down with the hold and just wait. The judge cannot grant bail. Nobody can grant bail because it's up to that parole or probation officer to come talk to you and figure out why you were where you were at and to see if they're going to give you an opportunity or a chance. That all depends on a lot of different factors. How that parole or probation officer feels that day, if they're willing to give you some love or not. You know, I've seen situations where dudes got out that had way trickier situations than myself, and they got right out, and I got a year flat on a violation. So it happens all the time. I don't wish that upon Peso because right now, man, he's coming up in the game. He's making his mark. He's making a name for himself. But again, this is a reality check. This is something where he needs to, when he does get out, and he will be out soon, he needs to sit back and reflect and react to what's going on around him. If you're told don't be around active gang members, if you're told, man, don't be saying certain things on the internet, don't be displaying, don't be throwing up gang signs, don't be associating yourself with known gangs. You don't need to tell everyone you're active. The content of your character will show that. Okay, that's the problem. Everybody nowadays wants everyone to know exactly who they are and what they're repping and what they're about. You could say a lot of things. You could be anything you want to be on social media. But the content of your character, the actions will show everybody what they need to know. And in fact, no one need to know shit about you other than you're making good music and how you're moving and grooving. Catch that vibe, period. That's the problem. Then when people get locked up, free the homie, free the homie, free the homie. You weren't saying that when he was running around with gang members, when he was showing guns, when he was throwing gang signs, when he was doing stupid, idiotic shit that could get him caught up. There was no one pulling him to the side like, hey, stay free, homie. So you don't never have shirts that say stay free, homie. You always have shirts that say free the homie after the fact. That's like when motherfuckers get, when they're dead, right? When they get killed or they die, then everybody wants to do a celebration of life. Why don't you celebrate that brother's life when he's alive? Why don't you say stay free, homie, hashtag Peso stay free, and be the homeboy to pull him to the side. Look, bro, we're moving kind of grimy right here. We don't need to have these certain individuals around you. We can lighten this load, bro. We only need a couple true hitters that are undercover around us because these dudes, man, I know they're your homeboys and you want to keep your team around you. That's love. But the more love if you have really love for your homeboys, then you stay away because you already know you're hot. You already know the authorities are targeting people, man, that they see coming up. Nobody wants to see the next man come up. That's just the way it is. Look, they got Tommy Guns the other day, right? He allegedly got caught with a gun. They call him Tommy 2 times because that's the second time he got caught with a gun. I'm going to go get the papers. Get the papers. Tommy 2 times is done for a minute. He's going to sit down. People are saying that he goes to court today and that he'll probably be released. I don't know if that's the case. He also is on some form of probation or parole, man. Or probation. So he needs to figure out what he's got going on. His money's not long like Peso's money's long. They got different types of money, right? If it is a misdemeanor, what's going to happen is his probation, the misdemeanor, he might have been in possession of something, might have been, they might have found something in the vehicle he was snatched up from. There's a lot of possibilities, okay? There's even people running around talking about because it was 2 a.m, he could have been intoxicated. It was a DUI. If that was it, it would say that. So I'm here to tell you it was probably not that. It's just a probation hold or a parole hold, depending upon what he's on. And what's going to happen is when his probation or parole officer decides to pull up and talk with them, he's going to talk with them. They're going to have a conversation. He's going to take into account everything this young man's doing. And all these videos on the internet of him throwing gang signs at bulldogs, of him saying, I'm for the gang, I'm this, I'm that, the tattoos, all that is going to come into effect, right? That's why you don't tell people, especially on social media, what you're repping or what you're doing. Because all that could be held and used against you, especially when you're on probation or parole. They're not playing anymore. They'll lock your ass up on a violation quick. Just because you're Grammy nominated, just because you call yourself the trophy, just because you're a good rapper, doesn't mean anything. That doesn't separate the fact that you haven't separated the fact that you're a rapper from a gangbanger. When you're utilizing the streets, you're utilizing the street credibility and a gang to push your music. Well, then parole and probation officers and then cops, period, are going to utilize the same thing that you're utilizing to make money to take your money. And that's just a fact. That's how it goes. They have no problem with sitting your ass down and giving you a violation. And guess what? You'll miss the Grammys, right? That's how they get down. In this case, based upon we don't know, it's a developing situation and we don't know exactly what he's locked up for. there is a chance that he does have a cool probation officer that vibes with what he's got going on and realizes that he's just a youngster that's making mistakes and maybe can correct his path and giving him maybe a 30-day violation or just a slap on the wrist and saying, hey, bro, go out there and do better. This is what's expected of you. Now, there are some no-nonsense parole and probation officers. I've met some. You already know what's expected of you because they tell you prior to you getting released, you're not supposed to be around known gang members. You're not supposed to be in a gang area, especially if you're a gang member. They don't want you to do none of that. You're not supposed to wear specific colors. Anything that shows gang paraphernalia or, that's there to gain attention. When you're throwing up gang signs on stage, when you're disrespecting the opposition, going back and forth, whether the Bulldogs started it or not, when you're doing these types of things and everyone's making videos on it and everyone's talking about it and talking about how real of a gangster you are, when you're claiming to be a sureño and you're not, okay, let's not get that twisted. I seen someone said sureño rapper Peso locked up. He's not a sureño. He's barely a Southsider, brother. Let's just be honest with you. He's from a barrio that claims the sur gang, but that doesn't obviously automatically make you a sureño. That goes into the politics, which I'm not willing to explain right now. But those that have really been locked up and know what I'm talking about, they know. No disrespect, it's just the fucking facts. I'm going to give it to you for real. I want to see these youngsters make a lot of money, a whole big old pile of money, a soul gang pile of money. I want to see them win. But when you're making idiotic decisions and you're moving the way you're moving, you can't expect to be shielded from the law. The law is the law no matter who you are. You could be a rapper, or an actor, a comedian, or just a regular motherfucker. There's guidelines and there's time and there's bed space for everybody. He's sitting in the LA County jail right now in them Twin Towers in the receptive part of it. Once he gets ran through, and I don't mean in a disrespectful way, ran through the process of R&R and how they do it, reception, then he'll be placed in his module, his pod, with whoever who he's placed with. And that's when it's time to put up, not shut up. That's when it's time. There is no more, hey, I'm a rapper, and so I get extra. You don't get an extra sack lunch. You're not going to get an extra tray. If anything, people know you got money, and there's people in there that are going to pull up on you. And, and you're going to have a lot of explaining to do. Ricky, you got a lot of explaining to do. Lucy does too. Just Fred was trying to get it. You just got to explain. But I don't think Peso is going to be in there too long. I have a feeling that this was just a wrong place at the wrong time type situation, but I could be basically wrong, but hopefully not, because I think that this guy has a good head on his shoulders. He's just caught up with the whole gang mentality and being around certain people and trying to prove himself. Let's not get it twisted. When we're gang members, those of us that was in the past, or some that are still striving, here's some knowledge you can't get in college, some real game. I'm not going to give up game. I'm going to give you game though. We all did it. We all wanted to be that one. Oh man, I'm the man. And if you've never learned your lesson behind that and got caught up, then you'll never know. See, people get away with it. Some people don't. I was one of those don't guys, but I never got caught up on a gang enhancement. I never got caught up on anything like that, man. It was always my crimes were violent and it was all on me. It was never at the benefit of a gang. Even when it wasn't. It was at the benefit of me trying to prove myself as a man to the gang, right? They didn't tell me to go do these things. I took it upon myself to do what I did. And I rode out to the Honeycomb Hideout to prison on my own. I did everything on my own, whether it was being an active gang member, doing a pegada, or even leaning back, man, and being up out of there. Everything I did, every move I made, I'm accountable for it. That's me. I'm not hiding nothing. Okay, it's just real, straight up. Peso was going to see all right, cuz. He's going to be all right. He'll be out pretty soon. And like I said, it's up to his probation or parole officer. But that's why he has no bail. People are like, ooh, it could be some crazy charges. Nah, he has no bail because it's a hold. That's all it is. It's a simple hold. Now, where they're saying misdemeanor, I don't know how they come up with that if he's not been charged with anything yet. Look, a probation or parole hold is not a misdemeanor. It's a hold. That means you're in violation some form or fashion, or you need to talk to your probation officer first or your parole officer for him to decide if they're going to let you out or if they're going to fucking violate you. Could he get violated? The only thing I could see is he was in a bad area or around gang members. Maybe someone got caught with a strap. Maybe someone was holding something. Maybe there was someone that had a warrant. And just him being in close proximity or with them cats, that's on you. So we'll see how it all plays out. But yes, Peso is locked up right now. Like I said, he could be out before this video even airs. One never knows, does one. We'll have to see, man. Is it free Peso? No. It's hashtag stay free Peso. Next time he gets out, he needs to run his homeboys down and be like, hey, I got to move different, bro. I'm the one. I'm the center of attention here. I'm the one that could get caught up. See, homeboys don't care about that, man. They'll rock with you and rock with you, even though they know they can get you caught up, they'll rock with you. And then when you get caught up, they be like, damn, homie, free the homie. Nah, motherfucker, he's locked up because of you. You should have been that one giving him game, not giving up game. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people, man. It is free Peso. I like that youngster, man. He's got it. He's got it. He's really a good rapper, man. Sometimes I think all this gang stuff that he does is all for attention and to show off and to prove he's hard. Look, bro, let your music do the talking. He's one of those guys. He's an anomaly. He's better than he looks, right? That dude right there could really blow up, or his career could blow up. It's up to him, man. Free Peso.